Scaling a business sounds sexy until you realize most people are just building a bigger hamster wheel, running faster and faster while the wheel stays exactly the same size. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on what it actually means to build something that grows without eating you alive. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most small businesses aren't businesses at all. They're just jobs with extra paperwork and the illusion of freedom. If every dollar of new revenue requires another dollar of sweat, another hire, another headache, you haven't built a company. You've built a trap with better branding. Think of scalability like a vending machine versus a restaurant. The vending machine serves 100 customers with zero extra effort, while the restaurant needs a new cook, a new table, and a new argument with the health inspector every time demand doubles. The catalyst behind the scalability revolution wasn't genius. It was desperation and software. When entrepreneurs realized that a digital product, an automated system, or a well-designed process could serve 10,000 customers just as easily as 10, the entire playbook for building a company changed overnight. Back in the early 2000s, everyone was drunk on the idea that growth meant hiring, and hiring meant success. Then the 2008 crash hit, and suddenly, lean operations and automated systems stopped being a Silicon Valley luxury and became a survival strategy for anyone trying to stay in business. The psychological shift required here is massive because most founders are wired to equate effort with output. You have to retrain your brain to value systems over hustle, which feels almost immoral until the passive revenue hits your account at 2 a.m. while you're asleep. History is littered with companies that scaled the wrong way, adding complexity on top of complexity until they collapsed under their own weight. But the ones who got it right, whether it was Amazon automating its warehouses or Airbnb turning other people's apartments into their inventory, understood that the goal is to make growth boring and predictable. Here's a misconception that kills most scaling attempts. People think scalability means doing more, when it actually means designing better. You're not trying to outwork the market, you're trying to outthink it with systems, automation, and ruthless simplification of every process that touches your customer. The numbers don't lie about what's at stake here. Companies with scalable models can grow revenue by 40 or 50% year over year, while only increasing costs by 10 or 15%, and that gap between revenue growth and cost growth is exactly where life-changing wealth is quietly manufactured. Investors don't fall in love with hustle, they fall in love with leverage. And a scalable model is the purest form of leverage a founder can demonstrate. When you can show that your next 1,000 customers cost you almost nothing to acquire and serve compared to your first 1,000, you've essentially handed an investor the golden ticket. The practical lesson from every successful scaling story is deceptively simple. Document everything. Automate what you can, delegate what you can't, and resist the urge to add complexity when a cleaner system would do. Discipline in your operations is worth 10 times more than brilliance in your marketing. Position size matters here too, meaning don't bet the entire company on one dramatic scaling move before you've validated the model at a smaller level. Test your systems with 100 customers before you try to serve 100,000, because a flaw in a small system is an embarrassment, but the same flaw at scale is a catastrophe. At its core, building a scalable business is a philosophical commitment to working on your business instead of just in it. And that distinction, as unglamorous as it sounds, is what separates the founders who burn out from the ones who build generational wealth. The market doesn't reward the hardest workers. It rewards the most systematic thinkers. The comfort in all of this is that you don't have to have it all figured out on day one. You just have to be honest about where your bottlenecks are and relentlessly committed to removing them one at a time. Patience, process, and proper sizing of your bets will outperform raw conviction every single time. Whether you're scaling a business, investing in real estate, or building something from the ground up, we can help you take that next step with the right team behind you. So check out our links in the description below to connect with us for real estate investing, home contracting work, and finding the right lenders for your journey.